So let's begin. Let's start with sitting up straight. Hands on your knees, back straight. Relax your shoulders, close your eyes. And start to inhale and exhale. Long inhalations and long exhalations. Gently bring your hands together. And let's start with the opening prayer. Yogena chittasya padena vacham malam sharirasya cha vaidyakena yopa karotam pravaram muninam patanjalim pranjaliranatosmi abahu purushakaram shankachakra siddharinam sahasra shirsam shvetam pranamami patanjalim. Hari Om. Gently start to rub your hands together and place them on your closed eyelids. Rub your hands across your face and with a few blinks, open your eyes. Let's start with neck rotations. You're going to inhale as the head goes back and exhale as it comes forward. Large circles with your neck. Let's go in the other direction. Inhale as the head goes back and exhale as it comes forward. Now inhale, look up. Exhale, look down. Inhale, look up. Exhale, look down. Once again, inhale, look up. Exhale, look down. Come to the center and let's look from side to side. And once again, come to the center and ear to shoulder. Good, stop the practice. Now interlock your hands together, extend your arms up. Bring the hands down to the elbows. Lift your elbows up and pull the chin into the chest. Look up and release your hands. Interlock both hands behind your back. Roll the shoulders back. Lift your arms up. Release. Interlock the hands in front of you. Extend your arms out. And release. Now left hand on the right knee and twist back. Come back to the center, same thing on the other side. And come back. Now bring your feet together in the Baddha Konasana. Place your hands on the floor, walk your hands forward, press your elbows down. Elbows up, walk your hands back, extend your legs out and touch your toes. And release. Extend the legs wide apart. Pull the toes in, heels out. Place your hands on the floor. Walk your hands out and press your elbows down. Elbows up. Walk your hands back. Now come on all fours, hands and knees on the floor. Let's start with the tiger breathing. You're gonna inhale, push your belly button to the floor, look up. Exhale, pull your chin into your chest, curve your back, pull the tailbone in. Inhale, look up. Exhale, pull your chin into your chest, curve your back, pull the tailbone in. Once again, inhale, look up. And exhale, pull your chin into your chest, curve your back, pull the tailbone in. Come back to your base position. Let's start with the wrist stretches. Turn the hands around until they face you. And turn them back. Now stop with both hands facing you. Start to rock back and forth. And side to side. Good. Stop the practice. Bring your hands back to their original positions. Place your toes on the floor. Lift your knees up. And come into your downward dog. Now remember everything we learned about the downward dog in the previous classes, where you lift the pubis up. The pubic bone should be lifting up. The tailbone should be lifting up. Use your legs to pull the hips back and up. Now step forward, Uttanasana. Here also, again, whatever we've learned to create space in the hip region, to create space in the pubis, and to get a sense of a lift there. Again, step back, downward dog. Step forward, Uttanasana. Step back, downward dog. Step forward, Uttanasana. Step back, downward dog. Knees on the floor, child's pose. Downward dog. Child's pose. Downward dog. Child's pose. And downward dog. Good. Step forward, Uttanasana. And slowly, vertebra by vertebra, roll yourself up to a standing position. Okay, so as usual, so today's class will be pranayama focused. Okay, because pranayama again is something that is important for women's health. It's important for general health, but we're going to focus on women. But before we do pranayama, we're going to do our 5 Surya Namaskars and a few asanas, and then we'll get into pranayama. Yeah, so let's start. Feet together, hands in the Namaskar Mudra. And let's begin. Inhale, take your hands all the way up. Exhale, bend forward. Right leg back, left leg back, knees, chest, chin down. Bhujangasana, Parvatasana. Right leg forward, left leg forward. Inhale all the way up and back. Inhale, take your hands all the way up. Exhale, bend forward, left leg back, right leg back, knees, chest, chin down. Bhujangasana, Parvatasana. Left leg forward, right leg forward. Inhale all the way up and back. Inhale, take your hands all the way up. Exhale, bend forward. Right leg back, left leg back. Knees, chest, chin down. Bhujangasana, Parvatasana. Right leg forward, left leg forward. Inhale all the way up and back. Inhale, take your hands all the way up. Exhale, bend forward. Left leg back, right leg back. Knees, chest, chin down. Bhujangasana, Parvatasana. left leg forward, right leg forward. Inhale all the way up and back. Inhale, take your hands all the way up. Exhale, bend forward, right leg back, left leg back, knees, chest, chin down. Bhujangasana, Parvatasana. Right leg forward, left leg forward. Inhale all the way up and back. Inhale, take your hands all the way up. Exhale, bend forward, left leg back, right leg back, knees, chest, chin down. Bhujangasana, Parvatasana. Left leg forward, right leg forward. Inhale all the way up and back. Inhale, take your hands all the way up. Exhale, bend forward. Right leg back, left leg back, knees, chest, chin down. Bhujangasana, Parvatasana. Right leg forward, left leg forward. Inhale all the way up and back. Inhale, take your hands all the way up. Exhale, bend forward. Left leg back, right leg back, knees, chest, chin down. Bhujangasana, Parvatasana. Left leg forward, right leg forward. Inhale all the way up and back. And the last one. Inhale, take your hands all the way up. Exhale, bend forward. Right leg back, left leg back. Knees, chest, chin down. Bhujangasana, Parvatasana. Right leg forward, left leg forward. Inhale all the way up and back. Inhale, take your hands all the way up. Exhale, bend forward. Left leg back, right leg back. Knees, chest, chin down. Bhujangasana, Parvatasana. Left leg forward, right leg forward. Inhale all the way up and back. Good. Go into your child's pose. Go into the child's pose. All right, now come into your downward dog. Yeah, maintain the same alignment that we've been discussing for downward dog and come into your downward dog. Yeah, just a few asanas now before we get into pranayama. Now from here, you're going to bring the right leg forward, come into trikonasana. Use your blocks if you want to. Come into your trikonasana. We won't be holding for very long. Lift the left hand up, open the chest. Come back, go back into your downward dog. Bring the left leg forward and come into your trikonasana. Yeah, remember the alignment cues from the previous class. Once again, go back into your downward dog. Then right leg forward. Now Parshva Konasana. So bend the right leg and extend the left hand out. Open up the chest. Keep pushing the hips forward, so wide hips. Hand down, go back into your downward dog. Now left leg forward, Parshva Konasana. Extend, keep extending the right arm. Open up the chest. Good. Hand down, go back into your downward dog. Step forward, Uttanasana. Stay here, keep lengthening the upper body. Remember, create a distance between your belly button and the pubis. Yeah, however you want, whether you want to use blocks or whatever you want to use. All right, and come up. Come up. Okay, now you can sit down. Sit down. Okay, so for pranayama, how many of you have done pranayama before? Like, just give me. Okay. Okay, most have done pranayama. All right. Okay. So, okay, so the reason why I thought we can, I thought about including the pranayama in the women's health is because pranayama is like the one practice through which you're sort of like now getting inside the body. Okay, so you know you're not doing any physical asanas, you're not like really changing the positioning of the body. Yet with pranayama, it is possible to impact like your actual like glandular system, your hormonal system. It is possible to do that. But the thing is, it takes time. Okay, so pranayama is a practice of lots of patience. It doesn't happen even in a month or even in years. Like pranayama is a practice that needs to be cultivated. And a lot of people believe that pranayama is a more difficult practice than asana. Okay, so if you think about like, the yoga scriptures, like where we've, where they've like outlined what is yoga, like in the Patanjali Yoga Sutras, pranayama comes after asana. So it's yama, niyama, asana, and then pranayama. Okay, and there's a reason for that. Patanjali was not just saying that these are the bunch of things that make up yoga. He was actually saying, first you practice yama, then niyama, then asana, and then after you're established in asana, then you practice pranayama. Okay, so a prerequisite for pranayama practice is an asana practice. Okay, so theoretically, those people who are not established in an asana practice, they should not be practicing pranayama. Pranayama is not a practice for everybody. Okay, according to the Patanjali Yoga Sutras, now everyone is doing everything. But if you follow the Yoga Shastra, you're not supposed to be practicing pranayama unless you are well established in asana. And there are many reasons for that. That's a whole lecture for why that is. Okay. Also, if you, Mansi, you attended the retreat in Thailand last year. So pranayama is also like a bridge. Okay. So you have yama, niyama, asana, and then you have pranayama, and then you have all the deeper practices of yoga. Okay. So pranayama is also a prerequisite for meditation. Okay, for continued meditation and finding for samadhi, like finding for enlightenment. So pranayama is so important that Patanjali has put it right in the center of bodily practices and then the higher practices, like the consciousness practices. Does that make sense? Ashtanga Yoga, 8 limbs. So pranayama is right in the center. Like that was meant to be a bridge between your like absolute physical practices. With yama, niyama, these are like do's and don'ts where I'm interacting with the outside world. Asana also, I'm physically practicing it. You can see my asana. I can move my hands. Then pranayama is like that bridge, because after the practice of pranayama, everything in yoga you cannot see. Like meditation, you cannot see really. I cannot see how you're meditating. I can give you cues, but I cannot really see what you're doing with meditation. Asana, I can very clearly see what you're doing. Okay, with pranayama, I can sort of see. I can sort of tell you, close your right nostril, close your left nostril, inhale in this particular way. So I can kind of see, but most of pranayama is happening internally. Okay, so it's also acting as a bridge. And that is why also that Patanjali put it right in the center that, okay, those who are established in asana, then they can start to tap into the meditative aspect of the human body. Okay. The human body is very less, like whatever you see on the inside, there is so much more, whatever you see on the outside, there is so much more, like triple that amount on the inside. Okay, this is just one layer of the human body. So according to yoga and Vedanta, you have so many more layers on the inside. With pranayama, you start to access that bit of you. Okay, like even in medical science, they say, right, like the consciousness, the subconscious mind is so much. What you see in front of you is like a fraction of what is going on inside. Okay, so pranayama is the practice through which you start to tap that, and that is why it's not taught in the beginning. It's taught like in the center of the whole practice of yoga. Okay, so that's one prerequisite for pranayama. You have to have a proper asana practice, and when we look at alignment, that is a proper asana practice. Because now on a physical level, if your alignment is not correct, okay, and if you just keep sitting like this, you can breathe all you want, but you're not breathing properly. You could breathe all you want, but your chest is collapsed like this. The lungs, you see, like look at the upper body, the lungs are collapsed, nothing is really happening. But if you have a good asana practice, then you will be able to do this. And you'll be able to hold this for a longer period of time. Okay? Another thing that impacts pranayama practice is the way you hold your legs. Okay, so like, can you hold Padmasana? Can you do Baddha Konasana? All of these seated postures, they change the way your body receives the breath. Okay, it changes the way how a breath feels, and that again is the practice of pranayama. In the proper practice of pranayama, we change the positions of the body, and we try to analyze how is my body receiving the breath, how am I breathing, and we hope that if you practice that, then in regular life, when your breath increases or you're not feeling comfortable, then you can be aware of that and change that. Does that make sense? Why pranayama is a practice. It's like asana, it's like a practice. It's not that you're gonna do an hour of pranayama here and then you're set for the rest of the day or whatever. Pranayama practice, it's not just to take more oxygen in the body and it changes the hormones, whatever. No, it's not for that. It is to give you more awareness of how you're standing, how you're feeling, and ultimately how you're breathing, because your breath is related to the emotions. Okay, this is a common concept. Have you heard of that? Who has heard about this? Like your breath is an indication of what is happening in your mind. Okay, okay, yeah, a few of you. Just as an example of that, when you're scared or fearful or anxious, your breath changes, it becomes shallow. When you're relaxed, when you're sleeping, for instance, your breath is longer. It's a deeper breath. Okay. So that is about pranayama. Also in the Yoga Sutras, Patanjali, only for pranayama, Patanjali has said now starts the practice of pranayama. Like it's a sutra in Sanskrit, I don't remember the sutra. But only for pranayama, he has said now starts the practice of pranayama. For anything else, he's never said, okay, now you do yama, now you do asana. He's never said that. But for pranayama specifically, he has mentioned that now it starts. You do everything and now you start pranayama. Okay? So that's very significant. Why has he said in all the 8 limbs, he's chosen one limb to say, okay, now you do this. So we think that it's because, you know, he really meant for us to do all the physical aspect first and then start with this. Also, I was in a workshop with a very senior teacher, and he told us that once he had gone, he was in India and he had gone somewhere, and people found out that he's a very famous yoga teacher, and they brought him this girl. Okay, the parents of this girl, they brought this girl to him, and she seemed a little like that there was something wrong with her. You know, like she seemed a little not present. Something was wrong with her, and the parents told him that, well, she was absolutely normal. And then she did yoga, and then this has happened to her, where her mind is a little off, like she's not present. Okay, and this teacher asked them, like, what yoga has she done that has caused her that this has happened? And it was pranayama. Like she practiced pranayama, vigorous pranayama for a long time without an asana practice, without proper understanding of yoga, and then this happened. And so he was like, okay, well, then stop the practice of yoga. You start asana practice. You get situated in your body. But through your body, you learn how to control your mind. And then you start the practice of pranayama. And what he told us was that sometimes when you practice pranayama very vigorously, there are small veins, okay, in the chest for both men and women. And sometimes very vigorous Kapalbhati practice, for instance, there is a possibility that you could burst those veins. That it has happened. It's uncommon, but it has happened. Like with a lot of vigorous people who don't have strong bodies, who's you know, they can't hold themselves straight, and then all of a sudden they start this Kapalbhati practice where everything is just vibrating. You know, your body can't handle it. If your body can't handle it, your mind can't handle it. Yeah, are we on the same page? Okay. Yes. Okay, so the first thing that you need for pranayama practice is a straight back. So what you're going to do now is get a bolster if you have a bolster. Otherwise, you get your 2 blocks. Everyone has blocks. You get your blocks or you get your bolster.
Pragya, question now or later?
Yeah, you can ask me now. Yeah.
So while we are doing asanas, we are also looking at our breath.
Yes.
Like, so where does that come? Is that a preparation for pranayama?
Yeah, you can say that way. Yes, you know, you're starting at a very basic level to control the breath. Because see, in asana, it's not so much like the control of breath. It's more like allow the breath. So the most common problem that happens when people practice asana is they hold the breath. Okay, you start to hold the breath or you start to breathe very vigorously because the asana is difficult. So in there, it's like we're not telling you to actively control the breath, but try to keep it as normal as possible. So if you're holding your breath, let it go. If you're breathing too fast, change the posture so that the breath becomes normal. You know, so you're looking at the baseline breath and trying to work with it. But I wouldn't really say that it's pranayama. Like it's getting in touch with your breath. You can call it that. Just be more aware of your breath. Yeah. Okay. All right. So the first, about pranayama. Now, in pranayama, one thing that's important is the positioning of your chest and the positioning of your chin. Okay. So the best way to practice pranayama is like this. So you lie down and you place something, and you can do whatever you want with your legs. We can keep the legs crossed. You place something under the head. Okay, now if you watch my position, if you see my position here, my chin should not go back. Okay, this chin should not go back. This causes anxiety. Simply because the head is tilting back, eyes, all these nerves and these veins, they go backwards. This causes anxiety in the body. To relax the mind, you have to always make sure that the chin is sort of resting in, like coming in towards the chest. Okay? Arms go out, chin, your forehead, chin, chest, and then like your belly button pubis, that's the flow that's the line that your body should be in. It's never flat, it's always at an angle. The body should always be at an angle. Mansi, you take more things, like take a block also for your head. Another block, yes. So you keep those two blocks, like this. You do this. Yeah, so this will be for your head, can you see? This will be for your head, and this will be for your chest, and that will be for your head. The head slightly lifted. Yeah. Yeah. So Divya, that you either have to cross your legs properly in Sukhasana, or you can do Baddha Konasana. Yeah. Either Baddha Konasana, Sukhasana, but it has to be properly crossed. Your palm should be facing out, up to the ceiling. Palm should be facing up to the ceiling. There has to be a sense, or you can even extend the legs out. Okay, for Shavasana legs, you can even do that. Mansi, widen the legs more. Proper Shavasana legs, yes. For pranayama, even your pelvis should be wide. Okay, so like in Baddha Konasana, it's wide. Whenever you're doing Sukhasana, the pelvis is wide. So we need a wide pelvis, we need a wide chest. Now be aware that, or be conscious that your lower back doesn't feel tight. There has to be a sense of relaxation, a complete relaxation in this position actually. And then we'll start with the most basic kind of pranayama, which is just inhalation and exhalation, which we've done in class a few times. So we're going to do it together. You're going to inhale to a count of 5, and you're going to exhale to a count of 5. And just focus on your breath. Once the body is established in the asana, then you just focus on your breath. Nisha, is your lower back hurting or something? No, okay. All right. So everyone close your eyes, relax your forehead. Again, there are lots of nerves in the forehead which go up, connecting to your brain, like the skull. So you have to start relaxation from there. And let's begin now. Deep inhale in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the last one, inhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Keep your eyes closed. Keep inhaling and exhaling in the same way. Okay, now we're going to start again. This time, you're going to inhale to a count of 5, but we're going to exhale normally. So I'm going to count to 5 for the inhalations. Exhalations are just normal. So let's begin. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale. And the last one, inhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale. Now continue this movement on your own. Mentally count till 5 and then exhale. Your chest should be rising and falling. I'm observing your chest. Okay. Now we're going to reverse this. You're going to inhale to your maximum capacity and we're going to exhale to a count of 5. So let's begin. Inhale. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale 1. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale. 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 Exhale 5. Last one, inhale. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now normal inhalations and normal exhalations. All right, now you're going to gently come up and sit up. Yeah. Okay. So like I said, pranayama is a practice. Okay, so in the first class itself, I don't expect that anybody is feeling anything. But even then, do you feel a sense of relaxation, like a slowing down of the mind or something? Okay. Okay. So so the how like a lot of people, like even in medical science, okay, let's talk about medical science, like they talk about alternate nostril breathing, and there are many alternative therapies that are coming out now where they talk about breathing. Like there are many things like new age techniques for relaxation. I mean, a lot of it is on Instagram also, where they talk about these breathing techniques, which, you know, when I look at it, I'm like, okay, this is just pranayama. It's basically pranayama. So, you know, like the more the research on the nervous system, the more we're finding out that the breath is related to your nervous system. This is not something that you really have in the yoga shastras. Like it doesn't say anywhere in the literature of yoga that it does anything to the nervous system. But it's very popular. Like now you see a lot of yoga teachers talking about the nervous system, and that's all modern science. Like that's modern research that has happened. Okay, but and it's proven also. Like modern in terms of modern science, they've proven that okay, alternate nostril breathing helps, deepening your breath, and you know, deepening the exhales also. Like it helps, but it's nowhere in the yoga shastra. Like in yoga shastra, it's just that these are the techniques. You do these techniques, and this happens to you. Yeah. So when we talk about the nervous system, everyone knows about the central nervous system, the CNS, the central nervous system. You know, the nervous system is responsible for how you feel, how you react to things, you know, all of that. Okay. Now your central nervous system is divided into two parts. Many of you a long time ago might have heard me talking about it: the sympathetic nervous system and the parasympathetic nervous system. Okay. One is responsible for your fight or flight. Like if something happens to me, I immediately react. Okay. It's a sense of like self-preservation, a sense of protecting myself. So if you see someone or if you see a bus coming at you, you have that reaction that I should jump out of the way. If you sense danger, you quickly, like at a very small level, like at a very basic level, that's what it is. That if something gets into your eye, you tend to blink so that something doesn't come into. These are the, you know, this is the nervous system that's reacting because you don't even perceive it. You don't perceive that something is going to come into your eye and you blink quickly to protect. So that is your fight or flight aspect of your nervous system. Okay. And then there's the other aspect of the nervous system, which is like, can I relax now? Which perceives a sense of safety, which perceives a sense of space, time, that now there is no danger, which senses the absence of danger and which can relax. Okay. So it is not just about danger also. Like if I extrapolate it down to like what's happening these days, it's like fight or flight is when you have a deadline. You know how some people say, I work really well with deadlines. I can like really churn things out like when the deadline is in. I work well under pressure, you know? yeah, it's great to say all that and you get work done, but that all you're doing there is you are encouraging that flight or flight aspect of the body, the part of the nervous system, to remain active, to work overtime, you know. So what happens is, if right now I'm blinking, as an example, if I blink only when there is something that's going to get into my eye, what happens if I keep practicing that? If I keep sensing a danger and I'm just blinking all the time, see, then there's no danger also, but my eyes are so used to blinking all the time that they keep blinking all the time. Whenever I'm in danger, my blood pressure increases, my rate of breath increases. There's so many hormonal changes that happen. Okay, if I encourage the body to work under pressure, if even when I don't have to, if my body is constantly in danger, constantly in a fight or flight mode, you see the hormones that are released in the body, the blood pressure of the body, it is always in that elevated state. Does that make sense? Does that make like proper sense? You know, like a logical sense to you? Does that, Satya, does that make sense to you? You can ask questions if you want, Satya. Maybe you're frozen right now. Okay. Nisha, does that make sense to you? Yeah.
Pragya, I'm sorry, but the voice is a little choppy for me. My connection is not great. I'm struggling to catch all the words.
Connection okay for everybody else? You can hear me? Okay, all right, okay, fine. So what is the antidote to this? Okay, if I'm like constantly blinking and my heart rate is constantly up, what is the antidote to it? Okay, so in modern times, by and large, in like, let's say, you know, 60 to 80% of the population, it's not that we're relaxing too much, it's that we're working too much. That is the problem in modern day scenario. It's not that I have so much time to relax, I'm on vacation all the time. Even when I'm on vacation, I'm working. Gosh, there is a workation. Okay, so the problem is not that not the fight or flight you know, aspect of my nervous system. The problem is that the other part of my nervous system is not stimulated enough. Okay, so if my blood pressure is constantly up, this is an example, if my blood pressure is constantly up, the other part of my nervous system, which is responsible for rest and relax, it is never there to balance it out. Blood pressure should never be low also. So we're not saying that you should be in a state of rest all the time. We're saying that you have to maintain a sense of balance. Okay, both things have to be in a sense of balance, because if there's nothing to counteract this low blood pressure, like you'll be in trouble. That is also a problem, right? So if I never blink, that's also a problem. If I'm always relaxed, my eyes will always be closed, and that is a problem. In fact, that is a disease. That there is a condition like that, you know, where, and that also we talk about like tamasic people who are tired all the time, who just cannot get going. They're just tired all the time. Okay, so that is the thing with pranayama. We are trying to balance your fight or flight, your tendency to always be on, with a tendency to always be off. And because this sense of rest and relax, that's the parasympathetic nervous system, because it's never, you never tap into it. We hardly ever tap into it, because even when you're going on vacation, when you're supposed to be resting, you're still working. Okay, so what's happening to the human body now, to the nervous system now, is that one type of reaction is dominating and we're really encouraging it, and the other part of your body, you're hardly ever working it. Okay, so it's almost like, if you think about the human body, you can keep working on one aspect of it, but if the other aspect, if I keep working on my flexibility and I don't have any strength, I'm going to get injured. So if one part of my nervous system, like the one that's working under pressure, is constantly on, and the other part is never on or hardly ever on, it's not a strong part. You know, so when I actually need to relax, when I need those hormones, the relaxation hormones, the hormones that make you happy, the pineal gland, the thyroid gland, all of these hormones, then they're not there. Okay, so that's why we sometimes also say that, you know, doing pranayama can actually get your thyroid to get balanced again. It can give you a sense of well-being, because it has a direct impact on your blood, which has an impact on the glands, which then secrete the required hormones. Yeah, so you see the scientific connection also. This is all science. This is not in any yoga book or whatever. Okay, so now you guys have heard of Anulom Vilom Pranayama. We've done that a lot. Okay, so we'll practice that now. A few things that you have to take care of when you do Anulom Vilom Pranayama is number one, the back is always supposed to be straight. So you should never practice Anulom Vilom like this. One easy way, simple way to keep a straight back is just to elevate your pelvis. Now this also maintains that distance between the belly button and the pubis that we've discussed about, where you don't want to do this, you want to stay straight. So this also maintains that. So we always say you sit on something. You can even sit on a bolster or blocks. Okay. Then you never push the nostril in like this. Okay, it's never a very hard thing. So if you've seen Anulom Vilom Pranayama, people like the whole nose is moving left and right. That's also something you don't want to do because you're working with the breath. The breath is very subtle. I don't want my attention to go on this sense, the sense of touch. You see, there's a sense of touch. It's a sense of force. If I'm very vigorously trying to shut off my nostrils, okay? What you want to do is, if you like feel your nose, okay, now if you feel your nose, the bridge of the nose, and you come a little down, that's where the nostrils originate, okay? You just have to have a gentle pressure there for you to close your nostril. You don't need to close like this whole cartilage. You don't have to push it. You just need a gentle pressure at the base, like all the way in the top, right under the bridge of the nose. Are you able to find that place? It's a very gentle touch. So basically what I'm saying is when I watch you doing Anulom Vilom Pranayama, I don't need to see your nose moving. Your nose should not be moving. Yeah? Make sense? So Anulom Vilom Pranayama, everyone knows how to do it? Mansi, do you know how to do it? Yeah, okay. So go ahead and start. I'm going to first observe how you're doing it. And then we'll move on. So go ahead, you use your right hand. We use the thumb usually to close the right nostril, and the the ring finger to close the left. So begin. And keep in mind that long inhalation, long exhalation that we did in the previous practice. Mansi, sit up more straight. Sit up straighter. Yeah, more. Increase the distance between the pubis, belly button, and then the sternum also. So lengthen your body. Yeah, okay. Go ahead. Okay, finish this round and come to a stop. Okay. We will just wait for everybody to come to a stop. Okay, so this was Anulom Vilom Pranayama. Okay. Now, how do you practice Anulom Vilom Pranayama? Okay, so this is what you can do. What we're going to do now is you're only going to keep your right nostril. You're going to close your right nostril. We're going to inhale through the left and exhale through both. Again, inhale through the left and exhale through both. Okay, so 5 times. You're going to take a deep inhale in and deep exhale out. Exhale from both. Yeah. So here what you're doing is just getting, it's just like a way of practicing. Like even in asana, we try many different ways of practicing the same asana. Here it's anulom vilom pranayam, but it's just that you're just using one nostril, exhaling through the other. The ultimate goal is anulom vilom, alternate nostril. Here we're just breathing in through one, exhaling through the other, then we'll switch sides. Yeah. So let's start. Go ahead. In your own time, you're going to inhale through the left, exhale through both. Five times. Deep inhalations, deep exhalations. Once you're done on one side, go ahead and do this on the other side. Yeah. 5 times on the other side also. Once everyone is done, we move on. Okay. Okay, now tell me, how many of you were actually thinking about something? Be honest, like how many of you were thinking about something else while you were doing pranayama? Any of these practices? So then, if you were thinking about something else, were you able to keep that inhale 5 to a count of 5, exhale, all of, I mean, like I'm talking about the whole, you were still able to keep a track of the counts. You were thinking about something else, but you were still counting. Okay, so you guys need a lot more, yeah, you need a lot more practice for pranayama. But the point that I'm trying to make is that, like we talk about meditation, right? Meditation is like when you're not thinking about anything, or you're thinking about just, you know, one thing, right? And I see so many people saying, okay, I meditate. But do you see how difficult, even when I'm telling you consciously, you count to 5, you exhale, you know, 5. You count, I'm giving you specific instructions. Even then, you're not able to focus on a very physical thing. It's like your breath, like it's a very physical thing. And still you have problems focusing on only that thing. It's a very physical thing. Do you see how challenging it is? So then when people say, well, I meditate, I really think sometimes, like, how are you meditating? Because even just to breathe and just to focus on that breath, which is the practice of pranayama, like it's hard to do it. So how are people meditating? You know, so that's another reason why in like these classes, in like the traditional yoga classes, the traditional lineages, pranayama is never done in the beginning because you don't have the sense for it. You don't have the sense for it. There are very few people, like 2% of people, who would learn pranayama like you guys have just done, and who would be able to really just focus on that one thing, and I'm not thinking about anything else. It's very hard. Like those of you who were not able to concentrate, just focus solely on the breath. It's a very common thing. It happens to 98% of the population. Okay. But these days, it's like everybody seems to be meditating. And I wonder, how are you meditating? I cannot do pranayama without thinking of other things. And you're meditating. Okay. Meditation is dhyana. It comes after pranayama. After you establish in the Patanjali Yoga Sutras, after your pranayama practice is there for 10, 20 years, then you start the practice of meditation. Okay. So the reason I'm telling you this is basically, I mean, you should have like a sense of where your practice is, where your yoga practice is. That a lot of you have been coming to this class for 8 years, for 10 years. There is a sense of, of awareness. Like when I say open up your chest, you understand what it is. Usually people who are not attending classes like these, they don't understand that. For you, maybe it's very easy to understand because we just keep focusing on that and we use all these props to open up the chest. But see, for in other yoga classes, you don't get the sense. So when they start pranayama, their pranayama is like, this is terrible. This is not pranayama. It's just I don't know. You're just like stimulating the body too much. Whereas what we're trying to do with pranayama, if you notice how we're practicing it, is we're trying to give very minimal sensory input to the body. So I don't want like the spine to be doing this, like a dancing torso. I don't want that. I want minimal sensory input. So a very soft touch here, and the maximum thing is happening with your internal organs, the organs of breath, the breathing. Yeah, does that make sense? For why we practice pranayama like this. Okay, so Anulom Vilom is the best pranayama for these days because it's getting very hot. The worst pranayama that you can do these days is Kapalbhati. Do you know, does everybody know Kapalbhati pranayama? Yeah? Okay. Anulom Vilom can be done when you're menstruating. It can be done anytime, I would say. Anytime. You're having an anxiety attack, panic attack, you can do this. You can just, but if you have low blood pressure, if you're under, like, if you feel like, okay, low blood pressure and all of that is happening, like where you have those symptoms, then I would suggest not to do Anulom Vilom pranayama because it can sort of like bring you a little more down. But high blood pressure, all of these anxiety, all of these things, you can definitely do Anulom Vilom pranayama. I would even say like sometimes for depression, it's not really recommended. Like you can do it, but you have to pair it with other pranayams. Like, but even for depression, I would say like pair it with something else. Don't do it in isolation. Okay. Now Kapalbhati. I'd like to see how you guys do Kapalbhati. Those of you who know how to do it. Just we're not practicing it. I just want to see how you do it. Can you do it? Those who know how to do it. Okay, Monica, that's Bhastrika. That's Bhastrika, yeah. Yeah. Okay, stop. Yeah, fine. You're doing it fine. Okay. It's just in Kapalbhati, sometimes what happens is that, it's a very vigorous, like if you've seen Ramdev, Baba Ramdev's, those things that he used to do, you see a lot of people like it's like really pumping their torsos. In Kapalbhati, you never do that. Okay, you sit up absolutely straight. You control the body because the assumption is you're asana practitioners. You control the body, and then it's just see the shoulders don't move. It's just the stomach that moves. See, even the chest doesn't really move. Can you see that? You become established, again, in the asana and then you're doing Kapalbhati. I'm not going to teach Kapalbhati because it's not for this season. Really, it's not for this season. And it's not, Kapalbhati should not be done if you're pregnant, if you're menstruating, if you have anxiety, if you find, like when you have, your thoughts are running, I don't know if anyone knows what that feels like when your thoughts, you can't control your thoughts. It's just all over the place. Insomnia, you should never practice Kapalbhati. All of these, Kapalbhati has a lot of no's, it's like, it's not really, you shouldn't really be practicing it too much. It causes heat in the body. So I'm not going to teach it today, maybe in the winters or something, but it's not really for this climate. Yeah? Okay, does anyone have any questions? There's a lot more that we can do in pranayama, but we just don't have the time. But yeah, we'll take it up again. Any other questions? Any questions? No? Okay. So now what you're going to do is for some time, just for another 2 minutes, you're going to lie down and just do long inhalations and long exhalations. You're going to lie down in the same setup that you had done. And just inhale and exhale, and we're ending the class like that. Long inhalations, long exhalations. Good. Go ahead and come up. Bring your feet together, turn to the right, sit up straight. Keep your forehead relaxed, keep your eyes relaxed. Bring the hands together in the Namaskar Mudra. Start rubbing your hands together and place them on your closed eyelids. Rub your hands across your face and with a few blinks, open your eyes. Thank you. I will see you guys on Monday now. Bye.
Thanks, Pragya. Thanks. Lovely class.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks, Pragya.
Thanks. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks.
Happy Gold.